Show we're going to be talking about a veteran appreciation cookout. Joining us from VA Ann Arbor Healthcare System, Public Affairs Officer Sean Stevens, from Jackson Military Coalition, Doug Brinker, and from the Jackson VA Clinic, Nurse Keith Zastro. Welcome to the show.
It's good to be here.
Great to have you here. All three veterans.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, and thanks for all that you do for our veterans. And Keith, we got a chance to talk a while ago when we were at an event, and you were telling me about all the things that are here in Jackson on Page Ave for veterans. It's for a lot of veterans, though, they're not even aware we have this.
Correct, and that's the whole point of this, Bart, is, you know, we want to get those veterans in the county that don't yet get their health care from the VA to have that start happening. So that's the main focus of this event.
Nice. Of course, Sean, we're all aware of the VA Ann Arbor, huge place, and we hear so many people that go to Ann Arbor for health care, but the purpose of the clinic is to shorten that commute.
Exactly. So, you know, we offer some services there at the clinic, so people in the community don't have to make that drive to Ann Arbor for all of their appointments. You know, in Jackson County, it's right up the road from most places, so it saves them a trip, saves them some gas money, which is really important right now.
Yeah, I've been in that place, and it's overwhelming.
Right.
You're in there, and you can't believe how many people there are that you are serving.
Right. Coming from Ohio, Indiana, the UP, we've had patients, so all over Michigan and the, you know, our surrounding states. So yeah, it's a great place. We're still opening clinics. We're going to be opening a clinic in Findlay, Ohio. But, you know, same idea, just we want to get out into the communities so that people can get their care at our community-based outpatient clinics, and they don't have to make that trip to Ann Arbor.
Nice, very handy. And Doug, you're with the Jackson County Veterans Coalition.
That's right.
And I would call you a veterans and military activist. You've been very, I think, active in helping veterans in our community. Tell us about this Jackson County Veterans Coalition.
So the coalition was formed 2 years ago. We're in our second year now, and I am finishing my second year as coalition co-chair. And the coalition was formed just like any coalition or any organization, is to be advocates in the community, and particularly this is for the veteran and their family, not just the veteran.
Awesome. Well, we've had some events, and most recently, I think just last week, right?
Last
Keith,
month.
you put on some sort of event?
Yeah, last month we on May 16th we had the VA 2K. It's our 14th annual event. It's to promote healthier living and collect donations for homeless veterans. I also had a car show put on for that, and that went over really well. A lot of fun.
All right, next up is a cookout, Veteran Appreciation Cookout, and that is coming up when?
So that's going to be Thursday, June 20th from 10 to 2.
Next week.
Yep, so it's next week. We're going to have it in the adjacent lot to the Jackson Clinic. We're going to have a lot of VA services. Our eligibility team is going to be there to enroll veterans right there on the spot who, you know, may be eligible for health care and didn't know they were. So recently the PACT Act was signed into law in 2022, and it expanded benefits and eligibility to a lot of veterans. And more recently, in March of this year, it further expanded benefits. So it doesn't have to, it's anyone who had any toxic exposures could be eligible for health care. That doesn't mean you had to be deployed. It could be, you know, occupational hazard. So were you a fueler? Did you fuel up trucks? Were you exposed to diesel fuel? You know, were you a firefighter? There are just tons of chemicals and toxic substances that this is taken into account. So if you were in the military, it doesn't hurt to come check. And we're going to have, like I said, our eligibility specialists will be there to check eligibility for veterans.
Nice. So it's not just Agent Orange or the water at Camp Lejeune?
Nope, it's any toxic exposure. So burn pits, radiation, and like I mentioned, occupational hazards as well.
You know, something that is, I think, perhaps hard to understand if you're not a veteran is that there's so much that is available
Right.
to veterans that they don't know about it.
Yep.
And it's been, I think, surprising that veterans don't know. Why is that? Did you know when you?
No, when I came home in November of 1984 from the Navy, I wasn't provided really a whole lot. And when I came home and when I was medevaced out and medically discharged from the Michigan Army National Guard, I was provided little. But today, 20 years later, there's hundreds and thousands of supports and resources.
Mm-hmm.
And now as a veteran peer support specialist,
Well, it's like
I get to connect veterans to the VA, to their claims, to resources so that we can start minimizing our suicide rates. That's the whole mission of the coalition, is to bring hope and help and everything to the community and the family.
And to piggyback on what Doug just said, we're going to have the VSO Phil from the Veteran Service Organization over in Lansing Ave. He will be at this event as well. We're going to have nursing, physician, audiology, social work, you name it. We're going to have a lot of different disciplines out there to talk one-on-one with the veterans that come out.
yeah, VSO, Veteran Service Organization,
Yes, sir.
like American Legion and.
Yep, and he'll be able to assist with claims. If he's not able to do it right there, he can definitely make you an appointment, and you can come in and get that taken care of. Go into his office.
So tell me about your service in the military, Sean.
So I was in the 10th Mountain Division of the United States Army, Climb Glory, and I was in from 2006 to 2011. I had a 15-month deployment to Iraq, Kirkuk, Iraq, and then I also had a year-long deployment to Mazar-i-Sharif, Afghanistan.
Wow.
And my job, I was a mechanic who was also wrecker trained. So I drove the wrecker in Iraq and Afghanistan. We picked up trucks that were blown up or trucks that got stuck, or we just came along in case anybody broke down and we could get them back to the base safely.
Wow. Doug, I know you were in the Middle East.
Yeah, two times actually. Back in 1984 or 1982, I was in with the Navy in the multi-peacekeeping mission, driving the ship as a bosun's mate, which is the ship driver, driving 1 mile out, 1 mile over, 1 mile in, 1 mile over.
They don't
for 6
call them
weeks.
ship drivers.
No,
though, do they?
bosun's mate.
Oh, bosun mate.
Bosun's mate.
All right.
And then after I went into the Guard, I joined the 1461st Trans
You went
Unit
back
here
for
in
more.
Jackson, and I volunteered to go 2004.
It's
and then
amazing. You both went back for more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
And
a glutton for punishment.
Keith, what's your service?
Air Force, I was in from 1988, literally the day after I graduated high school, until 1996. I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Went back a year later in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait to patrol the southern no-fly zone in Iraq. And then I was worked on life support survival equipment on the aircraft, maintained that. Last 2 years I was attached to an aerial delivery flight where we parachute goods to like Somalia, relief efforts to countries like that.
Wow, all hot spots. And did you get your BSN after you got out?
I did. I actually started going to school while I was still in the Air Force.
Nice. That's one of the benefits. Education.
For sure. Doug and I both went through the same program, a communications program in Eastern Michigan. So,
Oh, cool.
it's another thing we have in common.
We have an intern this summer from Eastern Michigan studying
Eagles.
journalism. Yes, Gray, up in the control room today. My niece has just graduated from high school. she's considering the service, what branch should she choose?
Air Force. Navy.
Even though I was in the Army, I would say Air Force, just because they get
I'm
treated.
telling you.
They get
Yep.
treated a lot better.
I won't say the Marines because my son Austin just
That's right.
finished a year ago, and now he works here in Jackson as a auto tech at Kelly's.
And didn't the Marines, didn't they make him a fine young man?
Better than Dad did. Except he was used to me yelling at him like a drill instructor.
All right, let's get every veteran to come and families to come to this event. Let's, once again, just everybody just come and show up. It's just a fun day, right?
And if
right.
you've served and you don't know if you're eligible, it doesn't hurt to
figure
come
that
down
out.
and get that checked out. There could be a lot of benefits and health care that you don't even know that you're eligible for.
And if you were exposed to some toxic chemical, you don't know it.
Right.
Do you? How do you know? Will you be screening people?
Yeah, so we also have a toxic exposure screener there as well. So that's another thing that comes along with the PACT Act is even if a veteran isn't enrolled in VA healthcare, we want to get them screened for that toxic exposure so that we can put it in their chart because we have a whole list of presumptive disabilities that are caused that they've linked to toxic exposures. So we want to, if you're all healthy now, that's great. God forbid something happens, but at least that's in your chart so that they can look back and they can say, oh, okay, this might be a reason for these symptoms. This person was exposed to burn pits or any number of toxic substances.
All right. Well, just caution nothing to come and find out what might be available to you as a veteran or a member of a veteran's family. Thanks for all you do for the veterans, and thanks for your service.
Thanks, Bert.
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you all. Thank you for coming
Appreciate
in.
it.
Thanks.
From the VA Ann Arbor Healthcare System, Sean Stevens. From the Jackson VA Clinic, Keith Zestro. And from the Jackson County Military Coalition, Doug Brinker.